The social media show. You guys do great with that.
Awesome. Okay. Hello. Hello. What up? What up? What up? It's Michelle Eldridge. Welcome to another video. I am going to make sure that we are here and we are rocking because it doesn't show me comments on my Facebook. And so that's okay. Or on my screen. Hold on, Sissy. I'll be there in just a second. So today we have, yes, I see us. Perfect. So I'm going to share this into a group really quick. And because I'm streaming to three places. And there we go. Sit down right here. Here's your phone. There you go. All right. So today I have somebody super special. And I am so sad that I did not know this human until Clubhouse. But I'm just so grateful to have got to see him in action and in hear all the great things. Mr. Glenn Lundy, how are you? Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your goodness with my people. How are you doing today?
I am great. Absolutely fantastic. And I appreciate you sharing this space and time with me. It means the world to me. So thank you so much.
Oh, well, I was just kind of telling you before, me and Jay Lissa, she was like, Michelle, he's got 8 kids, but I'm like one of his adopted kids. And
That's right.
I'm like, she loves you. She talks good about you, and she's a friend of mine. I'm like, we've got to make this happen. So I'm just honored to have you seeing this guy. Like you are going to see why everybody's obsessed. So I want to tell you, first of all, like he's the owner of, the founder of the Rise and Grind Facebook community. Like it's one of the fastest growing communities on Facebook. So if you haven't yet joined, like you need to check that out. And if you're on Clubhouse, then you know. If you don't know, you know. It's the Breakfast of Champions community. And this it's the biggest, it's the biggest one that I know of. And everybody that you bring on stage always has such value. The interviews are always great. I'm in between your room and one other because I'm double committed all the time, but there's never, it's always such good stuff. And I think that that's why it's grown so fast. And so many people are just attracted to you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You bring the goodness. So if you haven't already joined the Breakfast with Champions Club, the Millionaire Breakfast Club, definitely do that. Find it on Clubhouse. Get in there because it's the best of the best. And it starts at 5 a.m. Eastern every day?
Yeah, we go from 5 a.m. Eastern until 11 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Saturday. And then on Sundays, we have Club 111. So we do a Sunday service at 1:11 p.m. on Sundays. So yeah, we're there 7 days a week. Sunday, we're only there for about an hour and a half. All the other days, we're there for like 6 hours.
It is so good, though. But and that's the difference. I think, there's not many rooms that can go for 6 hours and still be interesting. And and the breakfast club is one of those that you can jump in at any time and you're going to get some goodness, right? So I want to jump in. So he's done a lot of other things, y'all. You can check him out on glennlundy.com. Okay. All the things. If you want to know all the things, please go there. Do yourself a favor. But I want to talk about something specific because I know that, you talk a lot about a morning routine and things like that. And I know that my audience specifically, they've heard a lot about it. They've heard different people speak different things about it, about a morning routine and why it's important, or is it, or isn't it, or what to do, or whatever. And so I'd love to hear, if you think it's important, and I would assume that you do, why do you feel, right? What makes you feel that it is? And then what do you suggest people start doing so that they could create the life that they want to live? And is that key in having that life, or creating it, I should say?
Yeah, ultimately, if you change the way you start your day, it'll make a massive impact in your life. Simple as that. If you're a student of success, if you study successful people, all lessons in success start with the foundation. And all successful people have a powerful morning routine, one that taps into mind, body, and spirit. And so I liken it to a story that we all heard when we were young, but a lot of people missed a key component of it. So there's this story of the three little pigs, right? You ever hear that story, Michelle?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the three little pigs, right? So you got the three little pigs, and you got the one pig that's like, you got the big bad wolf. He's coming to town, and you got the one pig that's like, I'm gonna just go build my place out of straw. I'm gonna do that real quick, and then I'm gonna run out and I'm gonna go hang out at the club, right? And so he just builds his, throws his together real quick. And then you got the second little pig. The second little pig's like, you know what? I read this thing, or I saw this thing on YouTube. It said if I make it out of sticks, it'll be a little bit stronger. So he puts his together out of sticks. He misses like the first couple hours at the club, but then he runs up and meets up with his brother, right? Then you got the third little pig that's like, whoa, hold up. I need to really like build something solid. And so he studies, he learns how to lay each brick perfectly, to put the whatever in between, caulking, not caulking, but you know what I mean, the stuff, and he learns how to mix all that, right, and put it all together just absolutely perfectly. So he misses out on the entire party. He misses out on going to the club 100%, right? But he builds this place, this incredible foundation. And so fast forward, big bad wolf comes. Big bad wolf bangs on the door of the pig with the straw, and he says, hey, open the door, or I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow this place in, right? You know, you guys know this story. And the little pig's like, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin, right? And then he huffs and he puffs and he blows the whole thing in. And the little pig goes running off. Then he goes to the one with sticks, and same thing, right? Let me in, not by the hair of my chin chin chin. And he huffs and he puffs and he blows it in, and that pig goes running off. Then he goes to the house that was made on a solid foundation. He says, let me in. He says, not by the hair, my chin, chin, chin. And he huffs and he puffs and he huffs and he puffs, and he can't blow the stinking thing down, and he wears himself out and he runs off, right? So we all know the story. It's like, okay, you got to take the time, learn the stuff, build a solid foundation. However, here's what most people miss in that story. If you look on the last page of the book, you'll see the wolf is outside, and not only is the pig that built the house out of brick in the house, but his brothers are in there with him. There are people out there that will not put in the work. They will not do what needs to be done to create solid foundations so that they can protect themselves from the storms that we all know are coming. So I believe that you and I have a responsibility to take the time to miss out on some of the stuff so that we can build on solid foundation, mind, body, and spirit, not just for us, but ultimately so that we can become a shelter for others that aren't willing to put in the work. So that's why, to me, it's so incredibly important you have a powerful morning routine. That is your brick, that is your mortar, that is your solid foundation, and that is how you make an impact in other people's lives.
Whoa, you know what? You're right. I missed it. And I would say, if you also missed it, let us know below, because it's so insane how profound that actually is, though. Like, and it's just a simple story,
right?
But in reality, if you look at all of it, it's just like a movie, right? If you watch a movie enough times, read a book enough times, you start noticing different things about the book or the movie. That's one way I've never looked at it, and I think that's super powerful. So if you didn't write that version of the story down and take that distinction with you, I highly recommend that you do that, because that's and you can see my kids running around. Everybody, like, there's.
Dude, I got 8 babies. You talking about
like I still can't wrap my head around, like, how so that's a good question. I'm just gonna it's random, but like, how did you build this?
How did I make 8 babies? What kind of show is this?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
What kind of audience you got over there, Michelle?
I mean, they want to know how it works. Like, was it, no, I mean, really though, how in the world did you manage to become Glenn Lundy with 8 kids? Because some days I wonder if I'm going to make it with a couple. Like,
I feel you, Michelle, and I'm not Glenn Lundy without those 8 kids.
I feel you.
Yeah, my kids have created this version of Glenn Lundy. The old Glenn Lundy was like the pig in the straw. I used to just love to go to the club and do the least amount possible. But what I learned is ultimately, I have to not only be an example for them, but I got to create a safe space for them. And so my kids drive me, and the way that I am able to run multiple businesses and support my kids, be there for my kids, and all those things is I changed my language. I used to, I noticed something, Michelle, and words are really powerful. So I noticed that I was investing in my business and I was investing in my finances. Like I wanted to invest my money, but I was spending time with my wife and I was spending time with my kids. Now, I know that that's a slight variance, right? But if you think about the word spend is actually a negative word. If you spend money out of your account, what happens? Your account goes
Less.
down,
Yeah.
right? Now, when you invest money, you're expecting what? A return. You want it to go up. So what I've been able to do in my life, and I continue to make sure to remind myself every single day, is time is my currency, right? It is a currency that we don't know how much of it we have, but it's the most valuable currency in the world. And so I make sure I don't spend time doing anything. I invest. Everything's an investment. So I invest in my wife. Yeah, girl. I invest in my wife. I invest time in my kids. I invest time in my business. I invest time in my finances. I invest time in my faith. I invest time in my fitness. I invest time with my friends. Like it's an investment. I expect a return from all of it. If I'm not getting a return, then it's just a spend and I'm out. And when you start investing your time and looking at your time that way and your relationships that way, you'll find that you can get way more done. Like there's so many more things. For example, Willow, my 7-year-old, an investment in Willow takes like literally 15 seconds. She's all over the place. She's a really smart child. She's everywhere all the time. And so she just wants to feel seen, heard, and significant. And
Yeah.
literally for her, that just takes like sitting with her for 15 seconds, like, what are you doing, Willow? Or I'll just call her, right? I'll just give her a call. I'll be like, what are you doing? She'll be like, oh, I'm playing outside, Daddy. I'll be like, okay, cool. All right, you having fun? Yeah, Daddy, I'm having fun. Okay, love you. Love you too. Boom, 15 seconds. And she feels seen, heard, and significant, right? Now, some of my other kids require a little bit more time. And of course, my wife requires certain things. But ultimately, when you look at everything as an investment, it changes and unlocks. It literally unlocks like what we're capable of. It's a game changing. So that's
Oh,
that's how I do
wow.
it.
That's that. And obviously, I didn't expect to, say that, but I think that the lesson in that is, you get to keep what you speak, and it's a lot more powerful than just like that. Just that distinction as well, like spending versus investing in
Yeah.
time with your people. I mean, with anything, but that you're doing. But I love. I mean, I hope that you're writing this down. I hope that you're tagging your friends. I hope that you're sharing this with your friends because this is the type of lessons that I would have given anything. You said, yeah, I know you said, there was a time, the old you, right? You were in the clubs and stuff. So I started out, I was homeless on the street by 18 myself.
Mm.
And
Yeah, I feel you.
I turned 21 in jail, and shortly after that's when things started to change. But it's that's the lessons that I wish I'd learned,
Right.
long ago. But you don't get it. Like my parents weren't taught that kind of thing, and so if as many of you can share this out as possible, somebody may see something that they may have never saw otherwise. And legacy to me, legacy, and I think I got this from Jim Rohn, but is the amount of people who tell your story, and when they're telling their story, rather their story to success and whatever that means to them, they use your name in it. Your,
Right.
your name is a part of that in some way. And so if you share this out right now and somebody has a breakthrough that changes their life, they'll never forget you for that. Oh, I saw this on so and so's profile, or on, whether you share this from YouTube or wherever you see this, right? And I think that that's a powerful thing. That's your part, because it's not every day that you get to hang out with somebody like this who's saying things that you may not. Again, they may not ever hear, and you may have not even ever heard it. So thank you for that. I want to talk about. So you have, and I'm going to put it up here really quick. Um, and I want to make sure. So the morning five. So I'm in Breakfast with Champions and I'm listening, and everybody is plugging the morning five. And they're like, you need this. And I'm like, huh. So tell me, I'd love to know, like, what can they find if they go to themorning5.com? I'm just curious what's that's going to help them with when they go there. Because they're good
Yeah, sure. So I spent a lot of time studying different aspects of morning routines, applying different morning routines into my life, trying this, trying that, and ultimately over years and years and years of kind of trial and error, I was able to narrow it down to like 5 simple steps to an extraordinary life. If you do these 5 things every single day, it'll make a massive impact. And so I started doing it in my life and watched my life transform, like literally night and day. And then a few years after that, I started teaching it. And at the time, I was in the dealership world, and so I started teaching my employees. I had close to 300 employees, so I started teaching them the morning five, and we watched their lives transform. They started stepping into an extraordinary life. So then we created Rise and Grind, and we started teaching it in Rise and Grind. And finally, I was like, dude, I got to put this into like an ebook so everyone can have it, for free. It's 5 steps. You can read it in less than an hour. You can listen to the Audible. There's some extra in the Audible if you want the Audible. And so I put it together. I read it for Audible purposes, and now we've been able to distribute it out to hundreds of thousands of people around the world that are getting results by just applying these 5 simple steps. So if you go to that website, you're going to get a free resource. Download it, ebook, read it in an hour. Let's do an Audible if you prefer that, and then apply those 5 steps. Takes time to create the habits. Give yourself some grace, but apply those 5 steps to your life, and you'll notice a transformation within 67 days, guaranteed.
And I love that you're so specific on the days, first of all, but you said something, you're like, give yourself some grace. And that's something that people say, I think. People say that they do for themselves, but I don't think it's as often as they maybe should, because their expectations for themselves are way more unrealistic than they would be for somebody else. They wouldn't expect the same from somebody else. Sure. And so giving themselves grace is definitely a big thing. But I knew if I asked you, you would prove to everyone exactly why that it's important for them to go get it. Because here's what he said to you just now. If you didn't hear it, he said it's been proven, right? This isn't a theory or a fluffy thing that, it might work, No, it's been proven, and it's been with different people, not just him or not just one person, it's multiple people, and it's been proven. So I think if you are someone who's on this journey to create this life that you want, whatever that means for you, and you want to get there as fast as possible and live as well as you can on the way, I think that's possibly going to speed it up for you and help you do that. So I want you to make sure that you go there. I think I'm thinking now too that it's you said a morning routine's made up of it's the foundation. It's you feed your mind, your body, and your spirit. And I was at one of the this past Sunday. I'm trying to think. I was at one of the 111 services on Clubhouse, and I don't think that I've ever. I don't know that I've ever experienced anything like it, and I don't know why it's so different. Do you have and not just that, just every single day, but I'm curious what the reason is. Do you think that the way that it's being received, why does that make it different? I mean, I cannot put my finger on why Clubhouse is speeding up. Like, I feel like I know so many people and our relationships are like, it's sped up at such a, and I just can't understand why that is. Like, do you have any, I think about it and I wonder, and I'm like, why is that?
So, I think that it's two-way. So, your voice is an instrument of your heart, right? whatever comes out of your mouth, it starts in your heart. And that's why you see there's ugly people that
Yeah.
are pretty on the outside, but they're ugly on the inside, and you know it instantly just by listening to their voice, the way they the words that they use. And then there's people that maybe on the outside you're like, oh, you look a little unique or a little different, and then they speak and you fall in love with who that human being is. And so in Clubhouse, we've removed the visual cues. We've removed any of the masks or any of the distractions, and we literally get to listen to people's heart come through. On our side, we're using our ears, right? We're
Yeah.
only using our ears, and only through our ears do we have the ability to identify who people are. And so we're very tuned in. If you talk to people that are blind, they'll tell you about this. They'll talk to you about how your ears, you can sense things audibly, right? That we didn't even really know we had that gift because we were always watching videos and TVs. And we're always looking at something. And so Clubhouse is really just by one auditory, like there's only one method of communication going on. It's voice to ear. So it's literally like heart to mind is how we're communicating on that platform, and with nothing in the way. It's just a straight flow. It's literally a straight flow. We're not worried about what we look like. We're not worried about what other people look like. We're not worried about what we're wearing. We're not worried about our makeup. We're not worried about anybody else's makeup. Like, it's straight heart to mind. So it's accelerating relationships because we have to be intentional. You can't hear what people are saying unless you listen, and you can't understand or identify who they are on the app unless you intently connect with their voice. So I love it. I think it's fascinating, and
I've
what an
never
incredible way
been
to
so.
move the human species forward.
It has changed the game for me, like at every level. I've always been somebody who, like within my business, right? Everybody else was against getting on the phone when I still wanted to hear. Like I still would lean to that.
Right.
So I think that this is, as soon as I heard what it was, I'm like, I want that. But it's been way more than I could have. That's what it is, straight from heart to mind, and you can't edit it. There's no
nothing in the
way.
app.
And you can sense, you know exactly when somebody's pretending or because you can feel it. You
That's
can
right.
100%, no question, and it makes it all new real. There is
It's
that's it.
authentic. It's true.
That's it. Because even if something comes out that's not, like
That's right.
there's not and that's it. That's what it is. People get to. It's that real right in front of you all the time. There's no question.
That's it.
And I think that it takes away that comparison in a lot of ways too, because
even like in church sometimes, like if you're a church going person, you walk into the church and you see people around you and somebody's worshiping a certain way and you get distracted by that, or maybe the lights are pointed a certain way, or the mic's making like it's a sound, or what the person's wearing. Like our brain is just trying to process all of these different things, right? Where did I park? Did I park in the right spot? Where should I put it? Should I leave a few minutes early so I can beat the crowd out? Like there's so many distractions, and we just don't have that on Clubhouse. And Michelle, I would love to keep going with you all day long. I do have a 2:00 though.
Listen, I'm all about the quick, ready to go. What I want to do right now is everybody make sure that you go follow Glenn on Facebook. Sissy, say hi.
Hey girl. Hey girl.
She said hi. I want to, everybody make sure you go follow Glenn. Thank you so much for your time. Make sure you get this ebook or the audio book. Thank you so much. Make sure to go to Breakfast with Champions tomorrow if you're on Clubhouse. Get in that Facebook community, the Rise and Grind community. Thank you so much, Glenn. Have a good rest of your day. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Michelle. We'll connect on the backside, okay?
Definitely. Bye.